Captain Ryan stepped off the human shuttle and onto the strange, sparkling surface of Valara. The sky above was not blue like Earth's. It shimmered with green and gold streaks like sunlight passing through crystals. The ground beneath him glowed faintly, and every step made a soft humming sound. Tall towers of polished crystal stretched toward the sky, reflecting the strange light and giving the city an almost magical look. Ryan adjusted his worn armor. It was old, battered in places, scratched and dented from past missions. His rifle looked heavy and clumsy next to the sleek energy weapons carried by the Valaran guards. Yet, despite its rough appearance, every piece of his gear had a purpose. Hidden compartments, reinforced plates, and simple but clever design made his equipment reliable, even in harsh conditions. He walked with steady confidence toward the palace where the Valaran royal court awaited. Today he would meet Princess Solara, the youngest daughter of Valara's ruling family. She was known for her intelligence and her pride. Humans had only recently arrived on Valara, and many Valarans considered them weak and primitive. As Ryan entered the throne room, the air felt thick with curiosity. Valarans had elongated limbs, silver-blue skin, and eyes that glowed faintly in the dim light. Their clothing shimmered, woven from energy threads that pulsed with power. Princess Solara sat on a throne of crystal, her head held high. She had sharp features, bright eyes, and a confident smile that suggested she knew she was superior to everyone in the room. "Welcome, human," Solara said, her voice smooth, almost musical. "We have heard much about your people, and yet here you stand wearing that." She gestured at his armor with a delicate hand, her tone mocking. "Does your entire species dress like this for battle?" Some of the court laughed softly. Ryan looked at his armor, then back at Solara. He said nothing at first. There was no shame in his appearance. His armor had saved his life many times. Instead, he nodded respectfully and replied, "This armor has kept me alive in many battles. It may not be fancy, but it works." Solara's lips curved into a sly smile. "We shall see," she said. "You will not survive long in Valara's training grounds. Our warriors are the best in the galaxy. You, with that costume, will be lucky to make it through a single test." Ryan did not respond with anger. Humans had a long history of facing doubt and mockery, and he had learned to stay calm. "I only hope to learn from your warriors," he said politely, "and perhaps to show that humans are more capable than they seem." The court whispered among themselves, some rolling their eyes, others clearly amused. Solara leaned forward slightly, her curiosity piqued. She had never met a human who spoke with such quiet confidence. Later, the royal advisors escorted Ryan to the Valaran combat grounds. The area was enormous, filled with strange equipment and obstacles. Energy barriers shimmered in midair, robotic guards moved with precision, and complex training machines whirred, their purpose unclear to Ryan at first. "Human," Solara said, stepping beside him. "This is where our cadets train. You will attempt the obstacle course tomorrow. None have succeeded on their first attempt. I expect you to fail spectacularly." Ryan observed the grounds carefully. His eyes scanned each obstacle, each energy barrier, each robotic opponent. His mind worked quickly, calculating angles, estimating force, and imagining solutions. He could not rely on raw power alone. Humans often won by thinking faster and adapting to the unexpected. The next morning, Ryan stood at the start of the obstacle course. Valaran cadets, all taller and faster than him, watched from the sides. Princess Solara sat above, her eyes bright with curiosity. She whispered to an advisor, "Watch closely. He will not last 5 minutes." The horn sounded and Ryan began. The first obstacle was a wall of shifting energy panels. Each panel moved up and down unpredictably. Valaran cadets leaped effortlessly, their long legs giving them a clear advantage. Ryan paused for a moment, then analyzed the pattern. Using the flexibility of his armor, he climbed with careful, precise movements. A small hidden grip inside his gauntlet allowed him to catch the panels securely. Next came a series of spinning platforms suspended over a pit. Valaran warriors jumped easily from one to another. Ryan's boots had reinforced soles that gripped surfaces well, and his balance, trained over years on uneven terrain, kept him from falling. At one point, a platform tilted unexpectedly. Ryan adjusted instantly, moving his weight and sliding across without losing momentum. The Valarans gasped. Robotic opponents activated next, small drones designed to knock trainees off course. Ryan ducked, rolled, and used a simple hidden compartment in his armor to deploy a smoke device he had carried from Earth. The drones faltered in the cloud, giving him a clear path forward. He reached the final barrier, a high wall with energy spikes along the top. The Valaran cadets barely reached it, and many failed. Ryan analyzed the spacing, used a grappling tool hidden in his belt, and swung over safely. When he landed, he was breathing heavily, but he had completed the course. Silence fell over the court and cadets. Even Princess Solara's confident smile faltered. She blinked in surprise. Impressive, she said finally. You finished. And with that, old armor? Ryan wiped sweat from his brow. Equipment matters, but skill and thinking matter more, he said simply. Solara stepped down from her throne and approached him. She studied his armor carefully, noticing the hidden reinforcements and clever designs. You have adapted your equipment, she said. This is not as simple as it appears. Ryan nodded. Humans survive by adapting, by using what we have to overcome challenges. Sometimes simple tools are better than fancy ones if you know how to use them. For the first time, Solara felt a shift in her perception. She had mocked the human at first, certain he was weak and unworthy. Now she saw someone resourceful, intelligent, and courageous. She had underestimated humans, assuming their weakness from appearances. Tomorrow we will see more, she said, her voice quieter now, almost respectful. You may yet surprise us again. As Ryan walked back to his quarters, he felt the weight of the eyes on him, not with mockery but with curiosity. He had shown the first glimpse of human ingenuity, but he knew this was only the beginning. The Valarans were strong and skilled, but humans had something they did not always expect: creativity, adaptability, and courage. That evening, Ryan inspected his armor in his quarters. Each scratch, dent, and hidden mechanism told a story. The Valarans might see only the outer shell, but beneath it lay the human ingenuity that had saved him countless times. He adjusted a small plate on his shoulder, checking a spring-loaded latch that could deploy a tool if needed. Tomorrow, he said to himself, they will see more than just old armor. Meanwhile, Princess Solara returned to her private chamber. She could not stop thinking about the human soldier. There was something different about him, something that went beyond equipment and training. She had never encountered anyone who could match her expectations with such calm confidence. A spark of respect, or perhaps curiosity, flared within her. The first encounter had ended, but both human and Valaran knew that this was only the beginning of a story neither could yet predict. The mocking had ended and something far more interesting had begun. A challenge, a test of wit, skill, and courage. And somewhere deep in the palace, Solara whispered to herself, this human may be worth watching. The next morning, the Valaran palace was alive with excitement. News of Captain Ryan's performance on the obstacle course had spread quickly through the court. The cadets whispered among themselves, and even the advisors who had doubted him looked uneasy. Princess Solara sat on her throne, her bright eyes fixed on the human who had surprised them all. She could not hide her curiosity nor her growing respect. Today, human, Solara said, her voice calm but firm, you will attempt the elite obstacle trial. It is the ultimate test of skill, strength, and courage for any warrior on Valara. Many of our best have failed on their first try. You will face shifting platforms, energy walls, and mechanical opponents. Succeed, and you may prove yourself worthy of recognition in our world. Ryan nodded, adjusting his armor with quiet determination. I am ready, he said simply. His voice carried confidence but not arrogance. He had faced challenges before, some far worse than this. Still, he respected the trial. He knew it would push him to his limits. The elite course was larger and more dangerous than the training grounds. Platforms floated over glowing energy pits. Beams of shifting light blocked paths. Mechanical warriors, sleek, fast, and relentless, patrolled each section, testing reflexes and precision. Cadets watched from high galleries, and Princess Solara's sharp eyes followed every move. The horn sounded, echoing across the cavernous course. Ryan sprinted forward. The first challenge was a series of floating platforms, spinning and tilting unpredictably. Many Valaran cadets had fallen at this stage. Ryan studied each platform, timing his jumps and adjusting his weight. He landed on one panel, then another, using his reinforced boots to maintain balance. When a platform tilted sharply, he grabbed a hidden grip inside his gauntlet, swinging himself safely to the next. Next, Ryan faced the energy walls. Beams of light moved in complex patterns, deadly if touched. The Valarans could leap through effortlessly, their long limbs giving them an advantage. Ryan slowed for a moment, observing the rhythm. Then, with careful timing, he ducked, twisted, and slid through gaps. His armor, designed for protection but flexible enough for movement, allowed him to bend and move where others might struggle. Mechanical opponents activated next. Small, agile robots armed with light energy blades darted across his path. Ryan rolled to the side, avoiding their strikes, and reached into a hidden compartment on his belt. He threw a small, smoke-emitting device, the kind humans used for cover in battle. The smoke obscured his movements and the robots faltered, unable to track him. He moved swiftly through the clearing, conserving his energy for the next section. The final challenge was a high wall topped with spinning energy blades. Velaran warriors approached it with confidence, using leaps and swings to cross. Ryan studied the wall carefully. He noticed the pattern of the spinning blades and found a small gap in the rhythm. Using a grappling hook hidden in his belt, he swung himself up, landing safely on the top platform. Silence fell over the gallery. Ryan had completed the elite course, something few Velaran cadets managed on their first attempt. He was breathing hard, sweat glistening on his brow, but he had done it. Princess Solara stepped down from her throne, her expression a mixture of awe and disbelief. "Human," she said softly, "you have surpassed every expectation. Your armor, your equipment. It is more than it appears." Ryan lowered his gaze respectfully. "The armor is only part of it," he said. "The real strength comes from thinking quickly, adapting, and never giving up. Sometimes the simplest tools are the most effective if you know how to use them." Solara studied him closely. She could see the determination in his eyes, the calm under pressure, and the cleverness in his movements. This was not just a human soldier. This was someone who could think, adapt, and survive against overwhelming odds. "You have taught me something important today," Solara said quietly. "I judged humans too quickly. I assumed weakness where there is strength. I assumed simplicity where there is ingenuity. You have shown me that appearances can be deceiving." Ryan nodded. "I hope humans and Valarans can learn from each other," he said. "We have much to offer if we work together." Solara's expression softened. She had expected mockery, weakness, and failure. Instead, she had witnessed skill, intelligence, and courage beyond what she imagined. "Very well," she said. "You have earned my respect, not only for your strength but for your mind. I wish to see what else you can teach us." Over the next few days, Ryan trained alongside Valaran cadets. He shared strategies, taught improvisation, and demonstrated techniques that relied not on raw power but on adaptability and observation. The cadets were initially skeptical, but they quickly learned to respect his methods. Even the most skilled Valarans began to see the value of human ingenuity. Princess Solara often watched quietly from above. She noticed Ryan helping others, guiding them through challenges and thinking creatively under pressure. He did not seek glory or praise. His focus was on learning, teaching, and surviving. She began to understand that his strength was not just physical but moral, a quiet determination that inspired others. One evening, after training, Solara approached Ryan in private. "I have underestimated you," she admitted. "You are more than a soldier. You are a teacher, a leader, and perhaps a friend." Ryan smiled faintly. "Respect is earned, Princess," he said. "I hope to continue learning from you as well." Solara considered his words. In her world, power and appearance often determined respect. Ryan had shown her that courage, creativity, and intelligence could surpass even the most advanced technology. She realized that humans, with all their flaws, had something unique, a determination that could not be measured by strength alone. "Tomorrow," Solara said thoughtfully, "we will begin a new exercise, one that requires strategy, courage, and quick thinking. You will face challenges not only from the course but from Velaran opponents trained to anticipate every move. It will test everything you have shown us so far." Ryan nodded. "I am ready," he said simply, though he knew the challenge would be difficult. But he was not afraid. He had faced worse, and he trusted his mind, his skills, and his human ingenuity to see him through. The next day, the exercise began. Valaran opponents, some of the finest warriors, confronted Ryan. The battle was intense, with energy blades clashing, tactical maneuvers, and unpredictable obstacles. Ryan used his armor's hidden features, his quick thinking, and his environment to his advantage. He dodged, countered, and adapted in ways the Valerans had never seen before. Princess Solara watched in astonishment. The human moved with precision, turning apparent weakness into strength. He used every resource, every tool, and every moment of observation to outmaneuver opponents larger, faster, and more advanced than himself. Finally, after a grueling series of trials, Ryan stood victorious. He had not only completed the challenges, but had done so with skill and strategy that impressed even the Valaran veterans. The court erupted in applause, and for the first time, many Valerans looked at humans with genuine respect. Solara approached him once more, her expression serious but admiring. "You have shown us something remarkable," she said. "Not only skill, not only courage, but the power of intelligence, determination, and heart. I misjudged humans. I now see the strength that lies beneath what I once mocked." Ryan bowed slightly, showing humility despite his success. "We all have strengths," he said. "Sometimes they are hidden, but when tested they can shine. Today we have both learned from each other." Solara smiled, a mix of respect and genuine curiosity in her eyes. "Yes, human. Today you have not only proved yourself but opened my eyes to a new way of seeing your people. Perhaps this is only the beginning of a long friendship, one built on trust, respect, and mutual understanding." As Ryan returned to his quarters that evening, he reflected on the events of the past days. He had faced mockery, doubt, and impossible challenges, and yet he had persevered. His strength had not come from shiny armor or advanced technology, but from his mind, his training, and his determination. Princess Solara, watching him from the palace balcony, felt a spark of admiration. The human had shown her the value of courage, creativity, and humility. He had reminded her that strength was more than appearance, and that true power often lay in the mind and heart. And so, a new chapter began on Valara, a story of respect, discovery, and the surprising power of human ingenuity. The mocking had ended, replaced by curiosity, admiration, and the promise of something far greater. The first step toward a bond between two very different worlds, united by courage, intelligence, and the willingness to learn from one another.